Hello, my name is Janelle Thornton, and this is my screencast lesson on NGSS Standard 3-LS4-3. Okay, class, today for our science lesson, we're going to be focusing on organisms and habitats. Now, these may be two new words for many of us. Can anyone raise their hand and tell me what an organism is? Very good. An organism is a living thing, so like people, plants, or animals are all organisms. Can I have someone raise their hand and tell me what they think a habitat is? Wonderful, that's right. A habitat is an organism's natural home or its environment. Today's activity is going to begin with us taking a look at the environment around us. We're going to observe the habitat and the organisms that may be in it. Now, before we go outside, we have to put on our scientist caps. And let's think how scientists would make observations of the environment. Use your eyes, look up, look down, and look all around. Notice what you hear, see, and feel. Jot down notes or even questions. Some of you may even want to quickly sketch what you see. Grab your pencil and a paper and get ready to be scientists. And one more thing before we go out, boys and girls, I want you to ask yourself while we're observing, what organisms would be able to live in the kind of habitat that we are looking at? Okay, scientists, it's time for us to go out and observe. Wow, that was great. I'm sure you guys saw and observed many things. Now let's sit down and do a quiet quick write. Tell me what you saw, what you noticed, all of the things that you observed. Now that we've finished our 5-minute quick write, let's share the different things that we observed. Can I have some volunteers raise their hands? Very good, boys and girls. Many of you noticed the dogs and that there were people and wet soil. There was lots of grass and many different kinds of trees. Some of you heard birds and crickets. We all saw squirrels. We noticed that it was warm but not too hot. Now, boys and girls, I'd like for you to consider what kind of organisms would live well in the environment that we observe. Turn to your table partner and discuss what organisms and why you think they might live well in the environment that we just observed. Now that we're really thinking like scientists, we're going to do an activity. You're going to get with a partner and pull one thing from the habitats bag and one from the organisms bag. Once you and your partner chose from the habitat bag, take a moment to consider what type of living environment that would make for the organisms that are living there. What kind of organisms would survive well in your chosen environment? Then consider the organism you chose and if it would survive in the habitat that you picked. Would it survive well, less well, or would it not survive at all? Some of these habitats and organisms might take extra consideration, so I would like for you to have a thoughtful scientific discussion with your partners about this. When we come back together as a class, I'd like for you to tell us the organism and the habitat that you have. You and your partner should construct an argument stating how well you think that organism would survive in your given habitat. Okay, scientists, now that you have your argument, I'd like for you to consider why the organism may or may not survive well in the given habitat. Please use evidence. That means you might do research on that organism's adaptations and needs to see if the habitat suits that. Okay, great job, scientists. Let's do a quick review. We learned that in particular environments and habitats, some organisms survive well, others survive less well, and others can't survive at all. We also explored the environment around us and considered the types of organisms we saw or might see. Lastly, we considered how well other organisms would survive in different types of environments, and we used evidence to support our arguments and claims. For your exit ticket, scientists, I'd like for you to answer the following prompt. Based on our investigations and discussions, why do you think some organisms survive better in certain environments than others? Once you fill this out and turn it in, you guys are ready to go. Great job, scientists.